Hello and welcome to our first class during quarantine. So I'm Rob. My husband and I run Coquito My Guest House in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The gayest guest house in the Caribbean, that we're open to everybody. We're making habichuelas today. Habichuelas is a very basic meal in Puerto Rico. Dámelo en habichuelas means explain it to me simply. I'm going to show you how to make the real habichuelas like a Puerto Rican grandma makes. And you'll have habichuelas to eat for the next couple days. I'm going to explain some of the ingredients. Easiest is a can of beans, red kidney beans. You can use pink, red. You need garlic, any form. You need squeezable, already cut like this. Good to use pork. Pork's always going to make it taste better, but if you want to make this vegetarian, get rid of the pork and everything else, it becomes vegetarian, and honestly, the difference is not huge. You need a few onions, you need some bell peppers. You have here, recao, which is a Puerto Rican cilantro. It smells like cilantro, it's really good. Or you have traditional cilantro. I'm only going to use this one, but I just want to show you that probably at home you'll find normal cilantro. We have sazon goya. Sazon, you might be able to find it in your deli international section. It's a very Puerto Rican spice. Pumpkin is an extra, may be difficult to find outside of the season, but if you can find it, I love to add pumpkin and a little Italian seasoning. And that's it. It takes about 20 minutes prep and you let it cook for about an hour. Simple. The best habichuelas are those that you eat the next day. Kind of like lasagna, when it sits there overnight and absorbs all those flavors like cilantro and recao, then it becomes even better the next day. Let's get to it. First, of course, washing our hands. Take the ham. Obviously, if you don't eat meat, skip this part. The ham is already pre-cooked. I bought this at Costco, but they sell it everywhere. I'm gonna add all of it. If you want to know the secret to grandma's habichuelas, it's pork fat. This is Coquito's favorite part. Oh, talking about Coquito, here he is. There. Doesn't have to be exactly equal. So we're adding the bell pepper just for color, to make it look brighter and beautiful. I add in bell peppers of every color. I prefer to avoid the green ones, they have less taste. The red, orange, and yellow are a little bit sweeter. So you gotta cut off the head. Nobody likes the head, or do they? So you wash out all the seeds that are inside. I'll do another one. We're gonna add all of this cut up into here. Now, to cut up the bell pepper the easiest way, you want to make it flat, get flat little sections, and then cut those in long slices, and then now gather up all those long slices and you can cut them all at the same time. Here we got that. We can just add those directly in. We'll say that if you did not add the ham, you're going to need the olive oil. You add the olive oil to the pan along with your bell pepper and the onion, which is next. At this point, you really don't want it too high. You're making the bell peppers and soon the onions. The onions will become translucent. The bell peppers, you're just getting them soft. So, and they're also absorbing all that pork fat or olive oil. Now we're going to do the onion. Et voila! That is le cordon bleu method of cutting onions. You don't want to burn the onions. So we're going to turn everything down just a little bit more. You want, again, the onions to become translucent. You don't want to make the onions brown. You want those onions to absorb all the pig fat. So while that's cooking, we're going on to the biggest part of the habichuelas, adding the habichuelas. I'm using a huge can, 2 pounds, 14 ounces. You're going to take this and add the entire can. I'm making extra, so put in all the water, all that water that comes out of the can. If you're using pumpkin, you want to get the pumpkin in the habichuelas as soon as possible because pumpkin takes the longest. If you don't cook it long enough, it's going to be crunchy. You don't want crunchy, you want soft. Some people use the skin. I don't like to use the skin. So I'm going to cut it in slices, not so thick. This is about a ½ inch max. Once it's flat, you can lay it down and just cut off the skin. I'm going to add all this to the beans. I'm a big calabaza fan, so I'm going to add more. There's no minimum or maximum, it's to taste. Next thing you want to do is add sazon. I add 2 for every small can. This is like a big can, so I'm going to add 4 per can. I use 2 big cans, so I'm going to use 8 of these packets. It's not spicy, it's cilantro, bell pepper, garlic, stuff like that. I'm going to add it directly to the beans. Okay, so now you want to add the garlic towards the very end of when the onions are done because garlic burns really super easily. You put the whole thing in the garlic press and we're going to add it that way. It's much quicker, easier, and add a couple garlic cloves. Now what we're going to do is fish out these big things of fat. Seek out these big fat pieces. That's why you want to leave those really big. Easier to find and take out. And there we go. We're adding all of this to the beans. Yeah, we need to stir this. Get everything mixed in together. And all this time the pumpkin is getting cooked and soft. We don't want all the water to evaporate, so we want to cover it and turn it down to a very low heat. I'm not going to use this cilantro, I'm going to use just the raquel. It's one or the other. Okay, so I'm using raquel. I'm going to get off all the ends. If you're using cilantro, it takes a little bit. You really just want the leaves. Make sure you wash it first, and then you cut them up. There you go. This is optional, but every optional thing I recommend adding. This is a huge jar of olives. I'm going to add some of the liquid and about half the olives. It's really to taste. We don't have to cut them. We can throw them in whole. By adding the liquid, you don't need to add any salt. Next thing, we add a little bit of Italian seasoning. It's the only thing I'm going to measure. I'll add about a tablespoon. And that's it. Now we cover it, we cook it at a low heat, and we're done. We're going to come back and take a look 30 minutes from now. So you can see the pumpkin is nice and soft. It is ready. It's ready to eat.